Should I come over there right now? What? Okay, we're gonna figure out something. He's pointing out at something. I'm gonna walk over here and see what's the deal. What's going on?
I don't think we can see it because it's dark here. But we got told there's no cat.
Alright, good morning. I just finished putting this video together and I just want to say, if you're looking for a normal travel experience, you're looking for something comfortable, not triggering, then this might not be the video for you. But today, I'm in Vietnam. I'm in Hanoi. I'm just chilling at my Airbnb right now. We went out looking for a unique experience and I can definitely say I found it. It's definitely one of the craziest things that I've ever done. And there's a lot of things out here in the world that are different or taboo or just uncomfortable. And that's part of someone else's daily reality, which is what we stumbled upon. So for me, I'm glad that this all happened. This was exciting and not repeatable, but it is what it is. This is the world. And we experienced that firsthand today. Hanoi is beautiful. It has an element of grunge. The air pollution is probably the worst I've ever seen. I've been coughing and sneezing this entire time. My eyes are burning. But the town is beautiful. It's a mix of French architecture and I don't know, maybe this is Vietnamese design. I'm not sure what's French, what's not, but it's just beautiful. There's a lot to do. It's very fun. On the outside of Hanoi though, things definitely change. It's quite different. The culture is something I've never experienced before. So coming back to the topic of this video, this is a perfect example of why this is something completely unique to me. Anyways, let's get into it. I really enjoyed my time in Vietnam. This country had such a rich culture and a very interesting history. Having lived in Southeast Asia for as long as I have, coming to a place like Vietnam for the first time was quite unique. For instance, just outside of Hanoi, we were able to see the Vietnamese way of making soy sauce from bean all the way to the finished product. The interesting thing about the Vietnamese method of making soy sauce is they prefer the soy paste, that fermented golden color, over the black soy sauce we see in stores. Nearby Hanoi, we were also able to experience the traditional way of making incense sticks. Now, I'm familiar with incense sticks. I enjoy the smell of them and I understand their use, but I had no clue this was how they were made. Learning about these things added a level of appreciation that I didn't have before. I was able to see and meet the people that were behind creating these things and learn from them in person. After having gone to so many of these different attractions in Vietnam, there is something that I started to notice. I started getting the impression that a lot of these experiences were curated in a way, set up for tourists, but not a true representation of what Vietnamese culture actually was. Let me give you an example. There's a place in Hoi An called the Coconut Groves. These are actually not coconuts at all. These are nipa palms. We spent a full day there and we walked away learning nothing. And it wasn't until I actually got home and started reading about this grove that I learned that there's an extensive history going back to the Vietnam War, where these groves were strategic to the Viet Cong's victory over the United States and the South. We then went to another iconic destination in Vietnam, Bana Hills, home to this magnificent golden bridge, a bridge that turned out to be a spectacle, a recently constructed amusement park created by investors to pull in money from tourism. It was a little frustrating because I went to Vietnam to learn more about their true culture, and it was becoming harder for me to discern between what was a true cultural experience and what was a manufactured tourist facade for the sole purpose of bringing in profit. Towards the end of my journey there, I found one thing that undoubtedly was authentic culture.
Well, they have a cool little smoothie place. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get
Come on.
There you go. Alright. Today's going to be a food tour of Hanoi. I'm excited. I feel like I've been eating too much Western food recently, so we gotta change things up. Yeah, today's gonna be pretty fun. Alright, so we found a restaurant that serves dog. This is something that they eat in Vietnam, and I'm still working to understand like where that came from, why that's a thing. But it's always been somewhat interesting, the whole concept of, is a dog a pet? Is dogs food? Is it both? But anyways, we're gonna try it out. We walked in here, Niels and I, we are sitting on the floor cross-legged, and then behind us is a big menu basically of different pictures of different dog parts, and we had our waiter come and point out some of the best things on their menu, and we're going to give it a shot. But yeah, outside the restaurant they have some dogs, satays, even dogs with a head on, roasting by the street. So we even saw a Grab driver come up, and I think he was picking up an order for dog for one of his customers. So this will be interesting. And I've had dog once. It was in a soup in eastern Thailand, and because it was in a soup, it was kind of hard to tell what the texture and consistency was, but today we're gonna find out. All right, so as we're waiting for our dog meat to come to the table, they brought out not one, but 6 separate beers. So I don't know what they're saying. Maybe they're saying that we need a lot of alcohol to make it through this meal. Who knows, but we definitely did not ask for 6 beers. But we got it, so here we go.
Here we go.
So we just got our first meal for our first dish. It looks like there's a sausage with, like, the sausage is definitely made out of dog intestine. I'm pretty sure there's bile in here because it's black. And then I see maybe what looks like lung, other organs, and there's possibly fat and cartilage and things in the sausage, but it's black, so there's definitely bile. We got something that at first looked like pate, but then I see the tissue, the membrane that goes around it, and that means that this is some kind of sliced cold organ from the inside of the dog. So a lot of this is unknown. We just know that it comes from a dog, and we're just gonna eat it, I guess. First dog organ sausage situation. To be honest, this smells really bad. Like, I can't describe it, but it smells like rotten roadkill. Honestly, I think that's what it is. But anyways. Dude, what is this? This is unlike any sausage I've had. This is soft, creamy, but soaked in bile. Dog bile. Okay. It's not bad. It smells worse than it tastes. It's not bad. Actually, let me try this before we move on. Whatever this organ is, dip, salt. I also have never tasted that before. That's not liver. That might be kidney. I think that's kidney. Okay. Better. That tastes like a pig kidney. Okay, tastes like pig. I can eat that. Alright.
I might regret this. Whoa. Fuck this shit. That's really weird. There's not much taste to it. I don't know, guys. I expected a lot worse. Let's just say that. Maybe the shrimp paste made it a lot better, but I guess I'll need a beer now too.
So what's next is this interesting dog, like almost like pork lechon, maybe pork belly, except it's dog belly. It's got some dog skin on it and lemongrass. The skin is charred black, unlike pork, which gets charred golden. So there we go, same thing, shrimp paste, salt. Very rubbery, dense, rubbery, flavorful. That's a lot better. I could eat that. Yeah, that's a lot better. I could eat that. If you didn't tell me what it was, I would eat this all day. Not bad. And then I'll eat some vegetable too. That's good. That's really good.
I don't know. Maybe it's like fried or something. Don't really know what it looks like, but yeah, this is it. Let's give it a good dip. Because I don't know, that makes it better or something. That's very rubbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I still feel like my shrimp paste and lime takes over a lot.
Yeah. And then if you eat one of these leaves.
Not sure if I mind that or not. I think it's better.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I would compare this to like, I had wild boar the other night. It tasted just like that. It was cooked a little softer, but it's same, like the chewiness, the gaminess, the seasoning, vegetables all together. This is very close to wild boar. Except less gamey. Boar was more gamey. This is unidentifiable if you tasted it, but it's chewy.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Try it. This is the best way to do it, he says.
Oh no.
Just chop it. Yeah.
Did you drop something?
Just chop it in the sauce.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna drop it in there because otherwise.
I think he was saying chopsticks in the sauce.
No,
But no, this is fine. This is
I'll
fine.
just do it like this.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, guys. There we go.
What do you think? With the ginger, that's a lot of ginger. It's like a full slice of it.
Ginger is normally super strong. This one is not that strong.
No.
But
Is it
No, yeah. Yeah.
Is that ginger or galangal?
giving me
Yeah,
all sorts of
ginger.
things to
Ginger?
try, guys. It's ginger, but I don't know. I didn't mind it, but I feel like I still, even though the ginger wasn't that strong, I still feel like the ginger kind of took over, which made me process what I was eating better. Celery, I think, or something. I don't know.
Lemongrass.
Lemongrass. All right.
So you chew it, but you're not going to eat it.
I feel like I ate more sauce than lemongrass.
All right, so we just got word. Niels has tapped out. He's had enough. He can't eat anymore. Quite frankly,
Good, but it's just not. The taste is just not there to continue eating. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah. No.
well, the thing is, like, the taste of this is mostly the ginger, turmeric, and lemongrass.
Yeah, true.
And basil that it's served with. But then again, you could also have pig deep fried with turmeric, lemongrass,
Yeah.
and herbs. There's a
It's-
sausage here.
It's nothing that comes from the taste of the meat that is the problem of not continue eating. It's just a mental barrier where you have to get through of what you're actually eating, which is, I think, the one that's telling me like, no.
At the end of the day, you have to think like, what's actually necessary? What we're having to do is jump over this gigantic mental wall of us having dogs as pets throughout our lives, at least for me, to get to the point where you're like, okay, this is food that's special above other foods for me to go out of my way, pay for it, and eat it. Like, quite frankly, like, when it comes to the bile sausage, I've had, like, better bile sausage from other animals, like beef and pork. And when it comes to, like, the stir fry, you know, I do like it. But like I said, I had wild boar the other night. I probably would eat that more. Actually, this looks like a skewer, so they grilled this. I don't know. It's good, but it's not like, why would you go out of your way to like kill the dog and do this? I don't know. It's interesting. I'm still trying to put this together, but I'm gonna try and eat some more so I don't leave too much behind. Meals is tapped out, and then we'll move on. All right, so we kind of finished the meal. We did as much as we could. We ate most of the dog belly and most of the kidney. The one thing that was really difficult was the sausage. I'm still having trouble getting that bile flavor out of my mouth. It comes out with every burp. But overall, this was definitely interesting. This is not one of those things where it's like, oh, it tastes like chicken. Even though people say that about frog, like, I don't think it tastes like chicken, but if you fry it right, it can taste like chicken. I think that's true. But this is something that you take a bite of, you immediately know this is not pork or beef. Immediately, it has its own taste. It's very distinct. I think if we had different cuts of like the actual meat, like the back strap or the thigh, it would be different. We could try like the different lean and firm parts of the meat, but just the fact that we have organs on the table, I think, has really affected the way that we look at this. Neil's just walked out of the restroom and is giving me a smile. Should I come over there right now? What? Okay, we're gonna figure out something. He's pointing out at something. I'm gonna walk over here and see what's the deal. What's going on?
I know people can see it because it's dark here, but we got told there's no cat.
We got told there's no cats here. Look at what we found. We found cats.
It's right here. We could have eaten it.
We found cats in a cage. What is this?
They're
Hello?
probably not big enough yet.
Hello? I'm so sorry, guys. You guys are so scared. Okay. What are they? They're feeding you rice mixed with something. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. This kind of... I think this is a little bit too much for me. This is a little bit too much. This is way... Okay. Okay, there you go. We are gonna finish this beer and head out. Okay, yeah, that was like a kitchen where they store meat. That was not where you keep pets. Like, that's kind of... Okay. All right. That's it for right now. They took by the side of the street, and then on top of the, what do you call it? Fridges, they have a butcher's knife, and then they just cut top of the fridge. But on to the next place. I think that's it for me. That's definitely it for me on, I think, dog ever. I'm not doing that again. Good to try it. To be honest, I think if we were gonna have an animal like dog and you wanted it cooked to the best of the ability of someone that's been cooking dog for years, that's it. Like, that's probably the best that you can get. I don't think it gets better than that. I think that's the reality of what dog meat's gonna taste like. And yeah. I usually say like I recommend people try stuff, give it a shot. This is not one of those things. I don't know if I recommend this at all. I would recommend you eat the isopod I ate the other day, not this. I still have a really bad taste in my mouth. What do you think? What do you have to say about?
I feel the same. The isopod was a nice experience, and I could highly recommend, even if you don't like seafood or anything, because I'm not a big fan either. But that was good. This was weird. Apart from like the smell in the restaurant itself already, this was definitely not on that list of like you should get here again. No, just it was. I think it was good that we tried it once, just because we both wanted to know. Would we recommend? No, definitely not. No, just don't.
More dog, open dog, roasted dog. Wait, we're on a.
This is the street. This is the street. You get film here. I didn't see this all the way here.
This is street of. Okay, we're not that far from Hanoi. It was 26 minutes for me to get here, with a lot of traffic. It is a holiday, so
this is still part of Hanoi. It's just a bit more of like the outside part. It's like, but we're definitely still in the city. It's just this is just a non-touristic area where the normal life comes back, and you see it.
Yeah, I guess this could be normal life out here. I guess, you know, they eat 5 million dogs a year. We're starting to see them on display, but yeah, I'm still processing to try and figure out how normal this is, and I'm still very curious. I'm still going to be asking questions, but I'm not eating this again. I'm really not. It's a little bit too graphic, and I feel like that's half the appeal, which is weird. Like, they like showing the teeth, the mouths open. I think even in like Thailand, when you're eating pigs and cows, like, it's not like they just leave the head on with the teeth glaring open for everyone to see. They still don't really show that, so this is odd. Still considering what's going on here. At this point, I felt like processing this was throwing my body into overdrive. I tried to film some more, but I just felt speechless. Something was wrong. What's in there?
How do you feel?
This is pretty bad.
Is this the worst food poisoning you've ever had?
I just went through some of the worst food poisoning I've ever had. That was bad. Yeah, yesterday I got a stomach ache, eventually super nauseous, and then, yeah, started doing the whole thing. It was pretty bad. And then I thought about, like, what could have caused the food poisoning. So I think it was the sausage. And I'm going to admit that I did not make the right decision ordering that. When I first walked into the restaurant, I noticed there was sausage. It was lying out. And as naive as I was in the moment, I thought maybe they had just made it and they put it out. But what we noticed is when we were packing up and leaving the restaurant, they had taken everything and then put it back into the fridge. So we actually can't say for sure when that was cooked. And basically for dinner time, they're gonna take it all out and then start selling it again. But like, if they don't sell it, then they're just gonna keep recycling this. It was at room temperature. It was soft. It could have been a week old, honestly. So yeah, I got food poisoning bad. And right now I'm at the point where if I smell spices or seasonings, I feel like throwing up again. So with that being said, I got very interested in actually checking out a local market to see what can I find, what kind of foods can I find, and what kinds of meats, fruits, things like that the locals buy. So I'm here really early in the morning for a morning market. And I've noticed that when it comes to fresh produce, morning markets anywhere are usually the best. And they sell out. By the time you get to any of these night markets, a lot of those fresh ingredients are sold out. Most of them are not refrigerated, and I can understand why people want to buy it before the day ends. But here we go, let's see what we can find. I'm here in Hanoi. I am about 20 minutes out of the city, and very interested to see how this goes. I just want to say I didn't come to this market looking for dog meat. I've just found that I can get a unique perspective of a new place by seeing what kinds of fish are being caught in the area, what kinds of vegetables are being grown in the area. I just find that it adds a little bit more cultural context when I'm traveling. One thing I can say for sure is I've never been to a market like this.
Qua thiếu lấy đủ 100.000 Yến.
If you know anything about me, you know I'm a fisherman. I started fishing in the rivers of Thailand when I was a child, and I've kept to it up to this day. And I understand there's a lot that goes into catching a fish and putting it on your table for dinner. You do have to kill it. You do have to process it. And I've learned ways to do this ethically. And honestly, what I saw here made me feel like that was not taken into consideration. This whole experience made me really think. A country that kills 5 million dogs a year, yet has some of the nicest people that I've ever met. It felt like a contradiction to me, seeing the gap between kindness and the way they treat their food. And at first I wondered, was it because of the downsides of communism and famine and war that they ate dogs and cats? But nope, it turns out they've been doing this for 2,000 years. I did learn that the government enables the practice of stealing and killing dogs, because in order to get prosecuted, the total damages must exceed 2 million dong, which is about $100. However, the government values each dog between $5 and $6. And just like these animals, these laws have been abused, and the practice of killing and eating dogs and cats is continually on the rise. So, is this wrong? As a foreigner, am I even in a place to speak up and say something that might seem critical or judgmental of another culture that I'm not a part of? Normally, I would say it's not my place. Let things happen as they always have, but in this case, let me ask this question. What separates this from this? After thinking about all of this, my answer to you is absolutely nothing. Unlike cows and chickens, we didn't domesticate cats and dogs for food. We bred them to help hunt and farm, to control rats and vermin, and for companionship as a pet. Objectively speaking, I can't get behind the idea that these animals could be anything otherwise, just because of the nature of what we developed them and domesticated them to be over thousands of years. After keeping pets my whole life, I do believe they trust us to protect and care for them. And it breaks my heart to see humanity fail them. This is animal abuse. I mean, when's the last time you went to a restaurant and they had cows or pigs in the kitchen eating their own flesh? I don't want to come across as if I'm judging people or other cultures. Trust me, my own country of Thailand has its history, but it's overcome that. It's left it behind, as well as most other nations that have historically consumed these animals. I think the question we should keep in mind is not just where we draw the line with our food, but why we draw that line.